So here's the same company 3 years ago when CM Punk returned. I have no comment, right? Now they're going to run smaller buildings. We'll chat about it. So AEW wished the wrong Mercedes a happy birthday. So they put out a tweet, Mercedes Mone, happy birthday, AEW. And they got community noted, dude. Readers added context. Today is not Mercedes Moné's birthday, as it's on the 26th of January. This post may have meant to refer to Mercedes Martinez, another star signed to AEW Wrestling, whose birthday is today, the 17th of November. And then you look and Mercedes Martinez. And just another typical, it's just paying attention to detail. I don't know, man. People can botch. But when it's as often as AEW and when they're under the microscope like this, and when that's the highest paid women's wrestler of all time, right? And then that gets confused. Like Mercedes too, she's like, that's not my real birthday, and I'm the highest paid women's wrestler of all time. No. Is what it is. So Danhausen, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Sean Ross Sapp tweets out that Danhausen's contract runs well into next year, but there are no creative plans for him in AEW. What went wrong, who pushed for him in the company, and how things are going. Details now up for subscribers. So Sean giving a little daddy magic taste. And as we move along, you guys will hear some more details. Absent AEW star expressed frustration to Tony Khan with no return plans currently in place. So shout out Wrestle Talk. And we'll click on this link. We scroll down, and they have to say that despite being off AEW TV, Danhausen has been competing regularly on the independent scene throughout 2024, leaving many questioning what his current status is within the company. Fightful Select have now gained many to, blah, blah, blah. According to the report, Danhausen and AEW have had very little contact whatsoever in the last 6 months, aside from routine approval to compete or independent dates, as is protocol for signed talents.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
So what have we chronicled here on PWT, folks? I'm just getting tired of even talking. No, I'll never get tired of talking about it. Tony ghosts people. He just stops talking to them. If you express creative ideas that don't align with his and put your foot down in any way that I don't even think you can tell how to cross the dude. It's hard to read Tony, he's a gangly, he's like when Mr. Burns was like the alien in the forest, and he's a punk guy. We all know that. Right, and we're going to talk about CM Punk later. He buries AEW once again, routinely, and it's got to be hard not to. He's really biting his tongue. I mean, really, they shouldn't make him sign NDAs. If Punk just got it all off his chest in one go, he might find some peace, and then maybe he'd let it go. But he can't help himself, and you can't blame him, and at least he saves it for off TV or whatever. For the most part. But either way, Danhausen was set to return to TV a year ago following an injury absence. However, these plans were reportedly changed, leading to the AEW star expressing frustration directly to Tony Khan. Dude, all they had to do was have Danhausen do his dumb curse thing and then have realistic mistakes happen to where you're like, dude, is he really cursing people? Like, you know what I mean? That guy really just trip or whatever. You leave it up to where he's not actually cursing dudes and it's not real magic, but you make people, and it's like a comedy thing, you don't push it to the moon, but it's just the fact he's funny. He cuts good promos. It's a character people like, the people like what he draws inspiration from. He can go like Evilhausen, he has been really working on his physique as well. I know people don't get a chance to see that because it's all indie shots. And yeah, he is a Punk guy. So there you go. CM Punk guys, they get forgotten about, especially if you have a plan set in place and then Danhausen comes back and then they change the plan and he goes, dude, why'd you change the plan? And then Tony's like, you're on the indies now. I just won't call you. And then I'll say you no-show shows. When I randomly call you on Thursday. Anyways, Let me see here. He's willing to return. So how many times have we heard this? Another wrestler willing to return, but just does indies. Same with Ricky now. He's just taking indies. Danhausen has indicated to AEW that family reasons had caused the availability to undergo changes as the year went on. However, AEW had seen him work indie dates before that period, leading them to believe he didn't want to work Collision tapings. Well, why don't you call him and ask him, Tony? Why don't you call him and say, hey, buddy, is everything cool? Do you not want to work Collisions? Do you want to be in Ring of Honor? Am I not? Is there something I'm missing here? Like, I know we could do more with you. The roster's kind of bloated. Is there anything that could make you happy? Yeah, you want to get booked? Okay, let's show up and do it. Why do you believe he doesn't want to? Because you expressed that family made his schedule change or whatever. It's just so stupid. Tony said he wasn't going to be like this. We're not going to keep people hostage and all this shit at the beginning during all those rah-rah speeches, or at least the elite and them are saying that stuff. And then look, it's like, dude, and it's not that even Danhausen wants to go anywhere. He just wants to wrestle. But then they're like, oh, we didn't know he wants to wrestle. So the dirt sheets had to figure out for you guys that Danhausen wants to wrestle. What the fuck is going on over there, bro? This is what I mean. And I get it. It's easy to be like, oh, the boys just no-showed work. I get that that's easy to say. But, bro, I'm telling you, the communication is so goofy, or the lack of, rather, is uncanny. It's come up so many ways, so many different ways. Through so many different people, we've heard all this type of. So, I mean, come on now. There's got to be smoke to this, or fire to this smoke, rather. Anyways, the report notes that Danhausen's contract runs until summer of 2025. Okay, we basically covered that. So, yeah, he's frustrated. Now, I think we do have a little bit more on that. I think maybe Tony Khan blaming Danhausen. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to talk about here. Sources claim AEW and now who's this from? Hold on, before I read it. Wrestle Pure, Elboo / Fightful, okay? Sources claim AEW and Danhausen have not been in regular contact over 6 months. Okay, we read that. There were pitches to bring him back, but nothing materialized. AEW was of the belief that Danhausen wanted to prioritize indie bookings over wrestling on Collision. Then why wouldn't you just release someone like that? That's what's so kooky to me, man. If that was your belief, then just go, hey, bud, we're going to release you. Why? Oh, you're prioritizing indie dates. No, I want to be on TV. Okay. Well, we don't see that, so we'll release you. Or, okay, when can you come to TV? It's so stupid. On the other side of things, it was said that he indicated to AEW they were family related. Okay, so we already read this. So why is Tony Khan? So Pro Wrestling Counselor's saying Tony Khan's blaming Danhausen. Oh, I guess on the AEW side, they're claiming that there was pitches, and we just believe that he didn't want to come. Yeah, so I just roasted him for that. So, yeah, I guess that is sort of blaming Danhausen, Tony, you son of a... You son of a bitch. AEW is reportedly very happy with Big AJ. Those backstage in the company have noted how respectful AJ and his family have been, with one talent saying that it's clear AJ is still a pro at wrestling. Well, yeah, he trained it, dude. He was a wrestler. So, I'm just going to come in over here and put my over there. Boom. What did they expect? So Rampage, though, via Awful Wrestling. Rampage got 186,000 viewers, dude, on a Friday. That is El Triple. And it's gone. They don't care because this show's gone and no one will talk about that. One thing that everybody's talking about, though, is that AEW is planning to hold tapings at smaller venues. Tony Khan listens to PWT. Confirmed.
Thank you. You buy. Boom.
But for real, we've been saying it. I'm not the only one who said it. I'm not the first. I'm not the last who said it. But don't let these people gaslight you. Like, don't let Dave Meltzer gaslight you. I know you don't, because you're here at with the PWT universe. We're keeping an eye on Alvarez and them, but don't let them fool you, though. Dave Meltzer literally came out and said, I have a actually a great new brilliant idea. Brian. But for real, he's like, I have this brilliant new idea. They should run smaller buildings. And we're all just
what?
But now the reason, Tony, And I'm convinced of this because if you listen to Eric Bischoff on Wrestling Shoot interviews with James, and they go off on Meltzer, and Bischoff talks about how Tony Khan truly to this day is like utterly influenced by Meltzer. And it sort of dawned on me, I think it's more than we talk about or even realize. And so Meltzer comes out there, and this is evidence of that. Meltzer comes out and goes, I have a new brilliant idea. They should run smaller buildings. Now Tony's going to run smaller buildings. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be more intimate setting and all this, which it's true. But Tony was asked about this a month ago, maybe 2 weeks, let's say, before Meltzer said his, oh, I got a brilliant idea that Phil Marks and everybody on Earth said before me, right? That Dixie Carter knew to do. I have this brilliant idea. Dixie Carter figured out. We'll talk about in a bit. Is Tony Khan the new Dixie Carter? I say he is, but worse. They're running these smaller venues, and Tony said, like, we like the amenities, we like the convenience of it, aka, as I broke down, people need dressing rooms, people need to pull their buses up, people need to be closer to the nice hotels that the people stay at before they do the big arena shows and or stadium show, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying, right? These venues he books are ridiculous, you know? So now he's doing these smaller venues, Tony Khan, that is, but he's doing it after Dave said it was okay to do, finally. After Dave folded and finally went, Phil, no, you're right. You know, the best guy, you know.
Guy's Tony Khan.
But however, you know, we must, acknowledge the flutes. They should run smaller buildings. Aesthetically, it'll be more pleasing and intimate. It'll look good for production. So, like, I've been yelling at the top of my lungs for 2 years. Anyways, so Tony's going to fold and do it because Dave said it, and it's disappointing. It's actually disgusting because it just is a slap in the face to the fans, and it proves once, yet again, he doesn't really give about fans. It's not about fan experience or any of that. Whereas WWE is all about fan experience. So when Dave comes and says the most unhinged ever last week, check it out, youtube.com/pro-wrestle-clips, and you'll see the goddamn clip of Dave saying that WWE's not made for casuals. What? He said that, you know. Their whole thing is fan experience and Travis Scott, because casual people casually listen to his music and might get into WWE because he's into it. He has influence over casuals, and you know what I mean? It's so dumb. But I guess AJ the Boom guy, he's good too, right? Joining me on the show is your favorite Alt Jake on everybody. What's up, buddy?
Hey. How you doing, sir?
So just remember how I broke it down here, folks, okay? Tony was asked previously, why don't you run them smaller buildings? Well, because it's not convenient for us. Dave goes, I have an idea. We should run smaller buildings. Bischoff comes out and goes, you know, Tony, like Dave's influence over Tony, he goes, I know this. Personally, people have told me this. And I'm inclined to believe it. Like, why would he talk like that? Maybe, he's trying to get himself over for YouTube clicks. Like, does he need it, though? I just, it's not about that. It's, you know, so... I think Conrad would probably back him up on that. So now you're calling two people liars. Now we're just calling everyone liars? Or are we going to maybe listen to some people who might know some people who we pretty goddamn well all know knows Hulk Hogan? And like, I mean, from the top to the bottom, you know, anyways, either way, all I'm saying is that Dave says it's okay. Eric brings it to my attention, Dave's influence over Tony Khan. And then Tony comes out and allows it to get out there that AEW is going to run smaller venues. And it's because Dave said it's okay. It's to please still these sickos. It has nothing to do with actual fan service, unless your fan service is just servicing the fans you already have, which is fine. But yeah, Tony Khan listening to PWT. What up? So is Meltzer. Put the flutes up in the chat, ladies and gents. AEW has announced a number of major upcoming shows, including an AEW Dynamite taping at the Hammerstein Ballroom on December 22 and the AEW Revolution pay-per-view in Los Angeles. Ring of Honor Final Battle. Yeah, so they're doing that at the Hammerstein, then they're doing Collision, and then they're going to tape a Dynamite at the Hammerstein. So, which is actually a smart move. If you're going to tape a show, do it at the Hammerstein so that like people want to tune into it just because they want to see your show. But if they don't sell that thing out, man, god damn, that's going to be their ugliest. It's oh man, holy! They better sell that building out, dude. Because if you
hell out of that town,
you can't hide that in the Hammerstein, bro. You cannot. There's no way around that with cameras if that ain't packed to the gills. Moving along, AEW has confirmed that Collision will be from the Hammerstein. And they also filed, so we talked about that, but they also filed 2 trademarks hinting at Christmas programming. So again, we see WWE's like, we're doing main event in December, and it's like Tony's gonna jump at the whole Christmas thing. I don't know. Maybe that's a reach for me as well, but it just seems like he's being very reactive and desperate. Like all of a sudden he books All In for, we're doing Australia Stadium and Texas Stadium and it'll be great. Like he just got out of nowhere. He said, let's do it. So I don't know, man. Living on a prayer. Like this TV deal, man, could be. They might have told him too, like if you don't turn this around after this one, man. So who knows? But yeah, they better sell out the Hammerstein, and they're bringing some Christmas shows. Hopefully Tony shows up in a Santa hat or something. They should license that song from Marv, pardon me. Mars, Jesus Christ. I'm on Mars right now with my thinking. But yeah, they should license that from Marv and do
he is dreaming of a white Christmas.
Yeah, dude. So Tony Khan claims that most of the top black wrestlers in the world are in AEW. Okay. None of that matters if the show ain't good. I'm going to tell you that first and foremost. But I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what he's getting at, bro,
And who'd he say this to? Like another podcaster with 600 followers and 800 episodes? He talks like the smallest podcast people. Like he won't go on any real shows. And he won't talk to any real journalists.
But how do we start ranking? Okay, no, Jade Cargill and Bianca are better than MVP and Private Party. Like, what the are we doing, dude? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? This is weird. Toni Storm claims that she is retiring from AEW and pro wrestling altogether. In a bit of shocking news, it was announced via SB Nation interview with Toni Storm that she is retiring from AEW and pro wrestling. Storm reportedly apologized for being such a failure, and she added that fans should not expect to see her in other promotions such as New Japan or CMLL. No mention of the Federation. Storm said, I failed at everything. I lost in AEW, I lost in Japan, I lost in Mexico. This is the last you'll hear from me again. Enjoy Mariah May as your champion. You can all enjoy that. So some people are wondering if this is a work or not. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. It's clearly a work. And yeah, she's just going to come back, fight Mariah May, who... What Tony Khan thinks the story is that Toni Storm was this thing, and then Mariah May copied it, and then is doing her thing better than Tony, and then Tony will come back, and that's just ultimately what they're building up to, is more between them.
Another story that could have taken off for 8 months or whatever, and they'll probably pull it off in 8 episodes.
That's what I mean. Yeah, this will be. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up too, because I skipped right over that. It's like the Danielson thing. Yeah, 2 weeks he'll be back. He'll be back.
It's even like Mercedes and Camille. They're already teasing the breakup. They've been together for 5 minutes. Come on.
And she hasn't protected her once. Camille hasn't protected her one time successfully, bro. Is tonight? It's like when's gonna be my time? God damn.
So true.
So the official for Wrestle Dynasty, the International Women's Cup. Now, shockingly, I actually really like this concept. However, when you do so many, isn't the Continental Classic coming up? Everyone keeps talking about that. When it's something you do all the time, I don't know. So you can do these different tournaments, different types of ways, but Tony's just overdone them so much where it's like, God damn it, man. You're really going to do this again. However, I do like a once a year women's. I always said that WWE shouldn't have women's tag titles. They should have a once a year women's tag team cup just on the main roster. And then that way they can throw together random tag teams for one little a
Yeah,
month or
that's a good
whatever, you know, and then you just call it the women's tag team cup. You name it after Mulan, Mae Young, or whoever. I'm just throwing names. The Bella twins. I'm just throwing names out there.
Right.
But I do like this concept. I really, really do. And this is sort of the action I wanted to see Tony do at the beginning of like merging the companies. Like I didn't want to see, like, we should have had a mini ROH invasion, no? And then just absorb those and then bring back Ring of Honor. Like once you have your ducks in a row and you're like, okay, we're going to do it from here. And this, you know, here's going to be our roster and da-da-da. And then the new ROH can be in this Wrestle Dynasty tournament or whatever. But I do like the concept of like, okay, it's a women. They're going to have 4-way matches representing each company. The winners go on. But then to try and separate ROH and AEW is foolish. But it is what it is. I like the concept. But yeah, I will give it a bit of criticism. Like, bro, and how the does CMLL get top billing over AEW in this? Because they're the oldest company or what? Like, does Tony respect them that much? Like, do you see in this graphic chat, like the CMLL logo comes, dude, UFC, Dana White wouldn't bring Fedor Emelianenko into the company because he wanted UFC and M1, let alone you put CMLL name or logo before AEW. Because they're the oldest. That's crazy. New Japan's older than AEW, bro. So are all these companies. So like, if you're gonna do it that way, but I don't know. Tony's such a mark. Is that why he did that? I don't know. Is that a botch on? I don't know. We're just pointing these things out here on PWT, folks. Anyway, so Eddie Kingston posts something, and it's to the song "No Love" by Lloyd Banks. It's like, yeah, Lloyd Banks. That's my mom's favorite rapper. No, but for real, it's like, come on now. Nothing will kill a great employee faster than watching you tolerate a bad one. And it's like, Eddie, you were slapping people backstage, and bro,
and pie facing.
You ain't even been there. And what is this a response to Danhausen, dude? Like you were pie facing dudes, you were fighting dudes, bro. I don't know if it is, but come on now, man. Or is this a response to Punk, who was like talking some shit that we're gonna get into later? Who knows? But yeah,
maybe he thinks he was the waste. Yeah, no, that's a good call.
I take Punk in a shoot between him and Kingston. Just saying.
Yeah.
Moxley states that AEW has to be a success. If not, then the business gets set back another 20 years. You know, like Rocky. Well, which Rocky? John, which Rocky are you talking about? AEW has to be a success and cool. If it's not, the business gets set back another 20 years. And yes, because I'm really cool. I'm not willing to go through that again. That's not cool. Others who I've known for 15 to 20 years are not willing to go through that again. It's at the hands of our generation. I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. Bro, come on, man. Like, Mox, I almost disagree. If AEW isn't successful, it'll help the business more because people won't look at that and be like, yeah, that's what we should do. You know? And maybe that's bad for me to say. You guys know I fight for AEW, but like, I would almost say it's done. Well, it's hard to argue because wrestling all around is hot other than AEW. I guess maybe it hasn't hurt wrestling overall, but maybe it could be further along. I don't know. Would TNA be on TNT or whatever right now if it wasn't for Tony Khan? Who knows, man? And that's what you got to think about. A lot of people, yes, he gives a lot of people jobs. He also people over by not calling them like Danhausen, or people over by making them fight to say the same thing Moxley is saying. Moxley's been burying AEW lately. He's saying all the same Punk said, but Punk had to fist fight the Young Bucks because he said that stuff. I covered it on the show. So I don't know if that stuff's good for the business when we seemingly come such a long way. The last we really heard was like, oh, Matt Riddle slapped Gunther in the face backstage and Gunther laughed about it, like in the NXT, you know, like years ago in NXT.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What other real fights have we heard about even in WWE?
Yeah, no, you only hear about how great the locker room culture is from everyone.
Even when the product was in like with Vince, you didn't hear about Rondo like punching people out backstage and stuff.
Yeah, I get where if the company was run like it was run by adults, yeah, exactly, like by competent adults, he would absolutely be right. But I tend to agree more with the idea of it being reversed because what they're putting out there embarrasses the business. Like, it's not good. It's just terrible and only getting worse. But and at least now we don't have like, no, I was just saying, at least now we don't have, because I feel like before AEW, you always had that point of Dave always saying, if we could just get this style on TV, this is what wrestling will be. This will take over. We've proven that was completely crap. So
and that's the whole thing with the small buildings, bro. That's why I have to bring it to the show, man. We're chronicling it here at PWT. We psychoanalyze that for a reason, because I'm telling you, look at the timeline. Tony's only saying this because Dave said it's okay, and that's like a slap in the face to fans, because that means, no, dude, you're stacking your chips on Meltzer still. Oh, a new AEW in 2025. Well, what is it? Listening to Meltzer more? God damn it. And now Meltzer's going to finally, and here's the one thing. Thank you, Meltzer, for at least for once in your life actually taking yourself, putting your ego aside and saying something that'll actually help their business. And again, and I'll raise the question, why would Dave be worried about, the numbers don't matter, and it doesn't matter, they're a success, and just enjoy wrestling, and all the sickos say this? Well, why would Dave be breaking down, well, if they ran these smaller buildings, I mean, the houses would be like couple hundred grand, but they wouldn't lose as much money? Why does he care about all that? I don't know, man. He might be bought into the company, allegedly. I don't know.
Tony told him he was looking at smaller venues, and once Dave got that information, then he tried to put it out there like it was his idea. Whatever it is,
Tony doesn't have anything to lose, no sequences.
That's great.
I mean, you're not wrong.
he's never had anything to lose, and he's never been told no, and he acts like it.
Exactly. So, let's see. So, yeah, Moxley, I mean, shut him out, but it's just listens to CM Punk confirmed. John Moxley listens to CM Punk confirmed. Death, taxes, and CM Punk on AEW. You love to see it. So shout out at This Is Nasty, Alfred Konowa, Pro Wrestling Bits on YouTube. AEW filled up the United Center for CM Punk's debut. Now that he's gone, the only thing overcrowded about an AEW building is its locker room. It's true, man. And let's tap in with Pro Wrestling Bits here.
Death, taxes, and CM Punk shooting on AEW. In an interview with Peter Rosenberg, Punk talked about regrets he had while carrying the secondary promotion.
I feel we're going to get to this in a bit. We're going to EFAP his little, a couple things he said here. Is very interesting.
I wasted some matches on some people for sure.
AEW once sold out the United Center on the back of CM Punk, and now that he's gone, so is 3/4 of their fan base. But these three things are for sure.
Hell taxes, yeah. Another one. Alfred with another one. That's Uncle Alfie with another. Yeah. So Tony Khan thinks that so we talked about this, but here's his actual quote. So I was like, what is he talking about here, little bro? We're about to see. So Tony says, I think that these are all some of the best wrestlers in AEW you just named. So we're really lucky to have those great stars. And we've been fortunate to be able to build some stars and also have a lot of great free agents come into where I think so many of the top wrestlers, some of the top black wrestlers in the world are in AEW. And I really think most of the top black wrestlers in the world are now in AEW. But I think that is a conscious thing. But I also think it's great. And it's awesome to hear that. He had to say, but I also think it's great.
Yeah.
Tony patting himself on the back, I guess. No further comment from me on that, I guess. Yeah. So CM Punk asked to face a jobber. Shout out Lucy. So QT Marshall, he puts out this goofy rap. I may have bookmarked some of it, but he puts out this rap to diss the Costco guys. And he took it seriously. He did a good job. It popped me. But then people were trashing him, which is what they're supposed to do. It was supposed to get him heat and have people go, you suck, you're a dork, and I want to see these guys beat you or whatever. That's the whole idea. But then he gets all sensitive and starts responding to people on Twitter and is like, 30 followers. Yeah, I'm sure my boss will listen to you. Now, maybe he thinks he's healing, but I don't think so, because he always says dumb. He says dumb in the media. And look at this. This guy at Mr. Boss _N says, I remember there's no way Punk wanted a 5-minute match with QT Marshall for Thanksgiving, whatever. And then Marshall goes, he literally asked my boss for it. I'd like to wrestle a bad guy in my hometown who won't go into business for himself and try and get over with the audience. Damn. So QT is like burying Hangman or like stewing what Punk had said backstage, right? About him, which is like cool if that's what he said, but god damn it, don't answer marks. Like, why you got to get so sensitive, dude? I just don't get it. And he got so mad about the Costco thing, and it's just AEW wrestlers. I try not to on their work. I've put QT over here and there, but they're so goddamn sensitive on Twitter. I feel like, is it just me?
No, it's because their boss is like, they're mimicking what they see. It's like a child who mimics their parents. Whatever their parents do, they do. This is the same thing. Like they see.
Yeah, that's why my wrestlers all over each other backstage. Yeah. Phil, do you think that Dave is actually making booking decisions at AEW? Thank you for this question. I love goddamn questions.
The best guys, Tony
like
Khan.
I don't think he's like for real going, yes, and you should book QT Marshall. It'll be great. But I think he does have influence. So by proxy of his influence, people will get booked. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not calling up Tony and saying this guy, but Tony's like telling him his ideas, and then Dave will go, Mystico, or what was the guy's name? Dralistico's a household name. He's a superstar.
It was Mystico.
Roman Reigns is a star, but he's not like, Mystico. If you say his name in a mall, people will know Mystico.
You what?
So Pro Wrestling Bits, Alfred Konowa at This Is Nasty goes, hold up. So Tony Khan Taylor's is wrestling to star ratings and skinhead stables. So I won't read it all because he'll say it all. Here's another little pro wrestling bit we're bringing here to the show.
Their new TV deal broke the bank, and now they can barely fit in one because AEW is shrinking in 2025. AEW will be playing smaller arenas as their popularity gets smaller than the Jaguars' points per game. That's what happens when you book for star ratings and
Any Lions fans in the chat?
skinhead stables.
Let me know. Jeepers, man. That is a beating.
That's what happens when you book for star ratings and skinhead stables, especially in a main event angle where half the main eventers couldn't care less. The Young Bucks are EVPs and they took paid leave in the middle of a coup. So if they don't care about AEW, why should anybody else? After their new TV deal broke the bank and now they can barely fit in one because AEW...
They took leave during a coup. Paid leave during a coup. Like, that's so funny, dude. Alfred's so good. He's wizard with it.
He's so good. Yeah. The way he phrases things, I love that guy.
Wrestling Observer reports this. So
right,
Ricochet, who's involved in this match, goes. He says he wants an AEW World Title run, and he says, "I'm going to prove I can carry a company." Sorry, bud. Tony
Khan
will never do that for you, buddy. I'm sorry. He will get the TV title. He'll get an international title. But there's no way. Husey came on the show and said Ricochet was already vocalizing displeasure in AEW. And, that's alleged, though. We don't know even where he allegedly heard that from. But, allegedly that might have happened.
It tracks so hard, though. Because all the stuff he was saying when we left, he's like, I'm going to get to do this, then. And then he's like, we all thought within a month, maybe two, he's just like everybody else wrestling AR Fox on Collision and Commander on Rampage and a bunch of matches nobody gives it about. Sorry.
Yeah. So I shout out Ricochet. Hopefully he gets his. I could see him as a world, like he's Prince Puma, dude.
With the proper booking, you can pretty much get anybody to do things. But I said that the problem is what I just said. Proper booking.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for AEW news. That was our AEW news. Let's go.